Hey folks, hope all is well. Here I am yet again with another game engine update. I didn't get too much done this week. I spent the first 3 days in bed with a fever. For good reasons. I was lucky enough to get my COVID vaccine. Hopefully, that's not too political for anybody. I like to live. But yeah, the government deems me essential, and I appreciated it, whether or not I actually agree. So, anyway, with that being said, I spent a day or so fixing some artifacts that I had. I wasn't handling transparency quite right in my shader for my image overlays. It's really hard to tell without doing a side by side with my last video. But what I really wanted to show off was a widget that I've been building, and it's not super pretty right now, but it does what I need it to. And it is a tool for generating sprite sheets. So if anybody's interested, I can give it a go releasing it as a separate standalone tool because there's not all that much to it, but it's pretty neat. So let me show it off. So the basic idea is that you can give it a material name, have some default value here, and right now you don't give it a texture type. Just assume you're giving it some diffuse textures, which is probably good enough for 95% of people, unless you want to do something fancy like have normal maps or something like that for your 2D sprites. But and you would, well, let me do it. And then you'll go and navigate to where your textures live. So for my example, I'm just going to take a bunch of scenery textures that I have. So select 3 images, open them up. And what it's going to do is it's going to load those in, and it's going to automatically generate a sprite sheet for me. In this case, it doesn't look like much of a sprite sheet because it's just a couple of background textures, but it's nice because this will be as space efficient as possible. So this I have a texture packer that resizes as it needs to and just packs all my images together into one image. So I think that's a neat little utility, and I realized I would need something like that if I wanted to have any of my own sort of 2D animations or anything like that. And I might, I was thinking of maybe making a hybrid 2D, 3D game to save myself some effort doing 3D modeling, which I am not very good at, but I can draw relatively well. So we'll see what happens there. Long story short, that's why I built this. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, and it works. And so yeah, my last option here is just to configure where I actually push that texture. So if I hit generate, this is going to actually make the material, what we're looking at here is just a preview. It'll take a little bit to actually save it somewhere. And now if I go to that location, here we are. Here is the texture. And if I open it up, I can verify that it does look like I expect it to look. So that's pretty neat. And it took me a few days to get together. My texture packer, I had all kinds of weird byte alignment issues happening since I switched over to 64 bits. But those are all resolved now, and I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, I think that's about all I wanted to talk about this week. Thank you all so much for listening, and tune in next time. Bye-bye now.